lately, I've been taking care of my feet, just lotioning up my feet every night after I take it. I'm telling you, been taking care of these kneecaps, these elbows, been lotioning up.
Wasn't Toe Spreader 42069 your name on that website?
No, it was Doritos Lovers.
That's what it was.
No, I'm sure. He told me, he's like, hey, you're one step away from these toe spreaders. I'm like, no, I'm not. I refuse. I mean, I'll lotion up these toes and everything else. And I'm not going to lie. Whenever you get your fingers and you're going between the toes like that, kind of like whenever you get a Q-tip in your ear, start getting a little O face. It feels good. Feels good. Try it out, boys. You'll like it.
Stay out of my fridge. It's time to raid. We're bringing the last. No need to be afraid.
We did it. We're back. It feels good to be back with the boys because the boys are back in town. Yes, it's 3 different towns. Maybe they're in cities. Most of us are in towns. I did recently find out that Euban's population has been declining every single year for like 100 years. What is up with that?
You know what? I contributed to it as well because I no longer live in that town. So I'm easily at fault. And whenever I moved 4 people out. So that's like a good chunk of the population.
It was like 17% decrease every single census. What are censuses every 10 years or something?
Yeah. And you know what? I wanted to mention it, but I knew Burley would probably have a heart attack from laughter. Is they had 3 houses blow up from a meth explosion. So I think that also contributes to the decline every decade.
Yep. That's tough. We Meg and myself, we were doing a Yorktown podcast the other day, and it was somewhere in Pennsylvania, and it sounded like a real small town somewhere, kind of like where we are. And I'm like, kind of like, oh, small town in this crime. She looks it up. It's a 10-mile radius town, and I'm like, well, that's not huge, but it's not that. 25,000 people. I'm like, yeah, it's not that small. So that's a lot of people in a little area. I was like, oh, sorry. It was like Merple or something like that. Merple, Pennsylvania. So you learn something new every day.
It's a different name.
Different. Merple. Because I kept wanting to say Maple, but it was definitely Merple. And yeah. So the boys have been busy. Brandon J. McDermott busy as well. It's been 2 full weeks. I haven't been able to see you guys. I feel like I've been in a mild, slightly depression. If I had time to be depressed instead of so busy with these damn kids.
It's been tough, boys. I've missed you guys. I don't think what's funny is I don't think we've all ever taken a week off on the show in the years I've been a part of it.
Yeah. Well, what I had to do is I had to find fill-in hosts for you guys, and I made my kids jump on episodes the last couple of weeks. I had 2 kids sitting around the other day. I'm like, hey, want to go have a conversation on a mic? I'm like, so kids take over special.
That's awesome.
So at least the show went on.
It did go on, correct. Yes, it did go on. And then last week, it was myself and the youngest, and we talked about the trip that we took to Syracuse and just little goofy stuff like, how do you spell Syracuse? Saraquuse. God, your school's dumb. And so it just, it was there. And then I was chatting with the kids today. I was like, hey, if the boys can't make it, you want to? And they're like, any chance the boys can make it? I was like, all right, point taken.
And while you were spelling, this actually crossed my mind that on TikTok, I saw that I think they had the spelling bee championships again.
Oh, shit.
The final word, I'm assuming, was French, but it was like éclaircissement, or I forget what the heck the word was. It didn't sound anything like that. That's what it looked like to me, and the way that they pronounced it, clearly different. And the kid nailed it, and it was just super impressive. But I probably couldn't spell Syracuse either. There's no way.
Try it.
SYRACUSE.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. Okay. See, it's sneaky for 3rd graders. Sarah
played too much college football.
There it is. And potentially, didn't you almost move to an area near the Cuse?
Oswego.
Yeah,
I don't remember what is it SUNY? There's some SUNY.
Yeah, State University of Oswego. There's a stretch in Oswego that has like a stupid amount of bars on one street, and every year they do this like college thing where you try to start on one bar and see who makes it. And I would hate to be on the last bar because there is some sloppiness. going on. But I just saw that this generation, warning, three guys are going to sound really old here, that it's like the lowest consumption of alcohol, tobacco, and drug intake of like any generation ever. These kids right now, like that are in the like the college range. I'm like, holy shit. Either like the parents are like doing real, because I don't know if Dare is still a thing. I haven't heard any of my kids have to go through Dare. So either Dare just didn't work, us as parents we're doing some shit right, or kids are just, super soft these days.
Probably a little bit of each, I suppose.
But it's just a weird thing. Not that I'm saying it's a bad thing, but it's
Right.
it's gonna be bad for the booze sales and stuff like that. But
Well, I don't know. It just you got to think too. Like you were touching, like the parenting. I think is a lot different. And the kids are a little different nowadays. Like whenever I was 13, like we were always wandering the streets. Even little, like I grew up in Las Vegas, and we would do the whole. You came in the house whenever the street lights came on, and there was like gang members, prostitutes, everything else walking the streets, and we're just sitting there, just rollerblading, walking our dogs or something.
you
And
said nope, don't know.
no, well,
Don't know
anyways,
that one.
that was normal.
It's because I couldn't rollerblade.
Oh, I got you. Neither could I, but I was really lazy that I would walk my dog, and she'd get super excited when she saw the leash, and then I'd have my rollerblades on, and she would just like pull me. Like I would go a little bit, but it was feeling the wind and everything. I wish I need to get a big dog that can pull my fat ass around. That sounds like a good time.
I think you
But
do. Although don't you have dirt roads? That'd be a tough thing for rollerblades.
we can go to the track and stuff. That's kind of what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I don't trust these ankles to run on gravel, so I have to go to the track. Like everyone's like, "Oh, just take these little scenic routes on gravel," and I'm like, I could step on a pebble and somehow manage to twist this ankle. Like
You could. Mm-hmm. So I walked the other day. The middle kid had softball practice at one of the city schools, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna walk the track. I've never ran or walked a track. The school I went to didn't have a track, so I'm like, let's try this out. Holy shit, was it goddamn boring. You know what I mean? I'm walking around. I'm not paying attention. I got my Google Buds in, and I'm just hanging out, listening to, I think, a book or something, right? Out of nowhere, this comes right up next to me, and I had no idea. I thought I had the track to myself. I went out there like 10, 15 minutes. I'm on lane 3 out of 8, right? Doesn't he come lane 1? It scares the shit out of me. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ! And he's like, oh my God, sorry, man, I didn't know. I'm like, there's 8 goddamn lanes. Why did you go 1? I said, this is like, and I go, what, are you the guy that pisses in a urinal right next to somebody, or do you go to the other one? So then it just started me like, I have no idea who this guy is. He gave me like trooper vibes. Like he was pretty big, bald, just out there trying to do it. He was pretty cool. And he was doing a thing where he'd run around 1 full lap, walk a lap, run a lap, walk a lap. So he'd run and he'd get a little ahead of me, and then he'd stop. And so then I was like, come on, why'd you stop? So I'm like talking friendly shit to him the whole entire time. So then I walk fairly fast so I could catch him by the time he'd walk, even though he was a half a thing. And then I'd be like, gotcha. And then he'd start running. I go, yeah, I'd run too, bitch. So finally I end up doing, I think I did 3-point-something miles. And then by the end of it, it's like, this dude's on there. There was this older couple. There was like 10, 15 people on this track. And I'm like, still talking shit. And finally I was like, bye, buddy. Oops.
I sometimes get lost in it as well, and then I will see somebody or like a mom pushing a stroller, and I'm like, where the hell did they come from? But we only have 6 lanes in ours, and I always do the 6th lane for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just like, it seems like it's the longest one, so I just don't feel like I'm cheating or whatever.
Are they all the same?
I don't know.
Or are they
That's what I
different?
asked too. So you would think like
Huh.
the inner one would be smaller, right?
Maybe. Because when they do the track, I've seen a track, they stagger them. Like, so 6 or 8 will go first and back and back and back. So maybe they're different lengths. I don't know. I wasn't good at school.
So the only thing I can add to this conversation is when Matt said, I walked this week, I thought we were a part of Fat Dads Anonymous and we were going to take a moment to clap for him. I did not walk this week, but I find this story interesting.
Well, it's funny. Our group chat that started with the Body Wrong podcast is actually now named Hot Guys Run Club. because all of a sudden Burley started getting super healthy, did like 75 hard and just kind of doing more on that. Goots Goop, he's always going to work out, cut wood, just be a man. And then, I got a treadmill, so I started walking. You've been walking. And rumor has it, there's a guy walking around Philly at 5'2" named Rob who's putting in some work. So it's going to be a bunch of hot dads, hot dudes in
Hot
one
dad
group
summer.
chat. Hot dad summer. What age do you think, if ever, are you going to be comfortable with like just being the shirt off dad? Because I think I hit 40. I'm thinking about if the weather ever gets above 50, I don't give a shit anymore. I might be the shirt off guy now. My old man's been that way for a while with a big old hard beard gut and just not give a shit for probably the last 25, 30, 40 years of my life. I'm wondering if I'm officially old enough to do that.
You know what? I'm almost getting there. I mean, I don't know. I live out in the middle of nowhere, so I'm comfortable with like I'm a very pasty individual, but I've been getting some sun, and we got some patio furniture and stuff. So I ripped off my shirt. I got these running shorts that I have now that are
Ooh, a little bit short.
they're a little short.
Ooh.
I like my shorts usually below the knee.
Mm-hmm.
That's typically
90s
where I
style.
prefer mine. But with these running ones, they have like a little spandex underneath of it that you can put your phone into. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, I'm getting pretty feminine here, but
Ooh.
I
Showing
got
off
my
those
phone in
calves.
they are above the knee. They are, and you know what? I love them. They are so comfortable to walk and run in. I cannot lie. But I'll sit there and I'll tuck them up a little bit, almost where you can barely see my nutsack. I mean, it's almost visible, and I'm sitting there in the sun for an hour, just front, back. Oh, I'm gonna be tall, dark, and handsome this summer. It's gonna happen. I put that on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, because I told him I was like, hey, I'm down 20 pounds with this whole running and walking thing, and I was like, Dad's gonna get some sun, be tall, dark, and handsome. And one lady on there, she's like, yeah, well, at least you'll be tall, right? And I'm like, you bitch. I was like, you bitch. She's like, can't change that. I was like, all right.
Mm-mm.
I see.
You son of a bitch. That's
I hate to break up the good life living exercise talk. Can I talk about a sandwich I made last night?
I wish you would.
Yeah.
So it was a Friday night, so I was enjoying myself.
Mm-hmm.
And, wife bought some onion rolls, and just those Pepperidge Farm onion rolls. Caramelized onions baked into the rolls. They're really good.
Ooh.
Maybe sometimes poppy seeds. I don't know if they have poppy seeds, whatever. She wanted some grilled cheese, so I was making grilled cheese for everybody. She wanted sourdough. The kids, of course, they just want the regular Wonder Bread or whatever.
Mayo or butter?
Mayo. I use
Hell
mayo on
yeah.
all this. Yeah.
What kind of cheese?
So I like white American. My wife likes the yellow American. She actually likes cheddar, sharp cheddar, but I'm like, come on, woman. We ain't that bougie,
Cheddar is better.
But I took the onion rolls on mine.
Talk dirty.
And I mayoed the inside, and then I laid the insides down. And
I'm
then
hard.
I took
you do.
And then I took 2 slices of thick cut bologna, and I laid that down in the pan. And of course, I cut a little slit so it would bubble up.
Mm-hmm. So how many? 2, 3, 1?
2.
I go 3. I don't know why.
But they're thick cut, so it's like, ooh, that's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, like, it's not too much, but you know what I mean? It's like, eat like a hot dog at that point, every bite. But, and then I took 2 slices of white American cheese, and I went bun, meat, cheese, about a tablespoon of brown sugar.
Oh.
And I've done this before. It wasn't the first time, and I'm not the first to ever do it, by the way. I want you guys to know this. This is well known. Cheese, meat, bun, flip it, smush
brown
it.
sugar tonight in my sandwich.
When I squeezed it with the white American cheese and the brown sugar melted, it looked like a toaster strudel, boys. It was interesting. I don't know if I would have done it with white American again. I think I'd do it with yellow American next time, but it was good.
Do you have a side with it?
We have potato chips, and I always buy. This sounds terrible because I'm like, if you're eating like that, why do you give a shit? But I buy cottage cheese if you like it. If you don't, it does not going to matter. Just do.
No way Euban likes that.
Yeah.
Nope.
But sour
way.
cream. Sour cream. I like sour cream. And then either the ranch dip, the ranch packet, the onion packet, soup packet, the veggie packet, whatever. I did a little mixture of a Thai sweet chili and onion, so it was like kind of nice. You know what I mean? It's got a little bite to it and sweetness to it.
Put some chips on the Sammy.
Not on the sandwich. Not on the sandwich. It was a melt, but
It probably would have, downgraded it from like a 6'4" to something, going kid style on the Sammy.
if it was the melt like that, I wonder if it would be a little the chips been a little soggier at some point. But they were ridges, so they were kind of stronger.
Okay,
So.
I like it. Did you name it? Did you give it the old Sammy a name?
Probably should have, but no, I did not.
Onion, bologna, cheese, grilled, a grilled OBC.
I like it. I like it. Well, I really hope that Matt clips that whenever you first started, you're just like, I like white American. You know what I mean? That's all I want is you doing that with your Nebraska hat, you solely alone. And I just want that to be the thumbnail of
a flag over my shoulder.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And it's just, and you know what? You can't tell exactly what that foam finger is, but if it was red with the GA above it and that's all you could see, my God, like that would be beautiful.
Didn't Eminem have a song like about white America? Was it Eminem? White America.
It's the local Catholic school. All glory to God.
Oh my God, strike 3.
You're out of here.
Oh, speaking of strikes, I put this in the chat of our Body Wrong chat, but there was this catcher that was catching I guess he's usually not the normal catcher, but he was sitting there and the pitcher was throwing to him and it just barely missed the top of his glove and it hit the umpire right in the boys. I mean, right in the boys. There's a fly that just went by or something.
Did you see the viral clip of the idiots that called the intentional hitting of the umpire? So as the pitch came in, the catcher actually dove out of the way and the ball directly hit the umpire. This is like probably, I'm going to throw it out there, 12U, 10U, like that younger kids.
That was in my town.
Was it really in your town? That clip went everywhere. That is now.
It was my news. It was the company that I work for, the news station that broke it. Yeah.
Maybe that's where I saw it first because I'm trying. You know what I mean? I get on there, and
it did go. I didn't know it went past Nebraska, but it doesn't surprise me.
But I'm real, you know the story, obviously, if you guys cover it and stuff like that. Did the coaches call that, or was it just kids being idiots? Because if the coaches call that, they should be banned from coaching for life. If the kids did it, they should get some kind of repercussion, suspend them for a couple of games, end their season. Like, that's disgusting.
Let me look it up.
Like I said, it just absolutely brutal stuff like that, especially because in these younger levels, in bigger cities, yeah, the umps are getting paid, but I mean, come on, they're not getting paid that much. I mean, for us, we're getting like high school, middle school kids to come ump our games. They get like $30 to do behind the plate and 20 in the field. You know what I mean? For a kid, that's not bad. They probably go right to Dollar General, buy themselves some snack foods and some sodas and stuff. Like, I don't know.
So they talk to the ump. They talk to the umpire if you want to watch the interview. You don't have to, but
okay,
I'll share the link to you. But
sweet.
But yeah, that was wild. So you see the video of the catcher I mean, this little 12-year-old kid diving out of the way, and then bam, the ump gets hit, and he starts walking towards the dugout immediately. I don't know, he wasn't hurt, but it was more of like a
pissed off. He ended the game, didn't he?
I didn't read too much into it.
Yeah, I thought I remember reading he either ejected some people or he just ended the game like, you guys suck, I'm out of here. Which, hey, rightfully so. I'm taking my money. You just pulled some crap like that. I don't care who wins and loses. Either technically should allow the parents, but they do.
That's wild. I haven't seen that clip. I'm gonna have to look into it because that is. I know that's happened sometimes in like softball where players will have the catcher miss the ball and hit the ump and everything and. But yeah, this umpire from this game, man, he got hit right in the boys, and immediately in my head, I always say the quote, that stuff that should be quiet out loud, and so as soon as it happened, like it just hit him, and he bent over, and I go, "Whoo!" 3 balls and a strike because the kid did swing, and like even the ump, like he just coming over, just goes, "Oh," kind of like nodded and kind of pointed at me like, "Good one," and like everyone cackled and stuff, and I go, "Shit, I just said that," and of course my family just turns around and like looks at me like.
Dad,
Shut up, that game that we were talking about that was really impressive before the show, there was an aggressive mom that was like talking all this crap, and I told you how we got tagged, so the game had to go into extra innings, and the 2 runs didn't count, just the one.
Hey, before you go into the story, you want to see that?
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna talk about that. I was just gonna say that she was just yelling at us. Sort of eat a dick.
This is from the article that Brandon, look at, dives right out of the way. This young kid's like, nah.
Oh, I missed it. I thought he walked towards the dugout. He must have just walked towards the batter.
Mine froze.
Yeah, see, he threw the kid out. He's like, you're out of here. I throw the catcher out.
If I remember correctly, at first he threw the kid out, and at the end he just ended the game.
Yep. Of course, big boy at the plate's like, no, what?
His last name is Blunt.
Was it
Did
really?
you see that?
And that's the ump right there, that guy on the left.
Right here, W. Blunt, number 10.
Yeah, boy.
That's the pitcher.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow. I tell you what, that Game Changer app, it is a game changer for crazy parents. We, the tournament stuff, we download that, and the parents are so crazy for this. We were down in that tournament. There was a team from Staten Island playing a team from, I think, somewhere in central New York. And this pissed me off, and I had no skin in the game. It's 5-3. It's an hour and 20. Clearly says in the rules, hour and 20 minutes, the game ends. No questions asked. So it's 5-3. Says, all right, it's actually an hour and like 25. And he goes, last batter. Okay. They go through, and of course the other coach wants to win the game, so they walk the person. So first and second now, game's over. Hit the hour and 20. Well, the coach from the Staten Island team starts going berserk, refuses to shake hands, gets on the phone, and is nonstop calling the commissioner of this. Again, this is a tournament where you probably win a medal that cost $1.
Bro, you said Staten Island, and we all get it.
Yep, immediately.
Yep.
We're not stereotyping, but we are.
Yes. And it's just as bad as a guy from here, from there. And so they call, and then it's just waiting and waiting. The other coach. So what they do at the end of them is a coach from each team gives somebody on the other team player of the game. So the other team's lined up, ready to give the player of the game, this and that. The other team refuses to. But then the girls start talking shit back and forth to each other. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And finally, the one coach is like, all right, walks over, says, hey, I'm going to give you the player of the game, whatever. And they leave the field. Then all of a sudden, they bring in the umps, and they rule that they can finish the inning. And I'm like, what? It's in the rules. Whatever. Doesn't that friggin' team come back and tie it? 5-5. So now we go to extra innings. 1-2-3, 1-2-3. Another extra inning. 1-2-3, 1. And then the team that originally was up 5-3 ends up winning 6-5 on a walk-off. Game over. But it put the tournament back like an hour and a half behind schedule. Almost an entire game because of the delay was like 30 minutes. Then the play. And it just, every game was delayed. So by the time the team that my daughter plays for went to go play their third game, they were so far behind, we had to go to a different complex. Then they had to actually take a field that looks like it's a T-ball field, super small, no home run fence, whatever, line the fields, put the circle on, and prep a field just so we could play because the other fields were so far behind. Jeez. Not to mention we're like 2.5 hours away. At this point, it's like 6 o'clock on a Sunday. And it's just, shout out to the people. They made the best of it. But it's like, if you got a rule, just be like, no, they turn and the same thing happened in our game. The next thing you know, our last batter, it is what it is. If you have a chance and it's at the end of the game, maybe you should have got it going a little earlier. And it's softball. These kids are here to get better and learn the right way, and they're having to deal with that. And the fans from Staten Island were going nuts. They got cowbells and shit, just screaming and yelling. And I'm just, I had nothing to do with it. And I felt so uncomfortable, just being on the sideline, the same sideline of these people. And I'm like, oh my God. Jesus I told my daughter, if that was me and you were talking shit back and forth like they were, because the coaches were kind of talking, trying to figure out the whole situation. They're just I was like, I would pull you off the field. You'd be done off that team.
So here's my question. And yes, this is a Brandon's in his weekend mode question, but how close are we to the potential for a very smart person to create a computer program that would, in the instance of Little League, be able to run an AI umpire, because you're having a hard time hiring people that want to put themselves through this. And that's exactly what this story was about when you were clicking on it that we didn't listen to. And there's other stories that have been written the same way. And it's not just Nebraska, it's everywhere. This terribleness of parents will complain to an 800 number. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Send a email to, like.
I mean, you look at the Game Changer, and all it is, honestly, is it's a cell phone that's more or less broadcasting the game that people can jump on. You could actually do the game broadcast in video. I mean, that footage that we see, it's probably just a cell phone that's attached to a backstop. I think you could easily have it in the right position, or put one out in the outfield as well, and you could easily have AI call safe out, ball strike, have 100, but then it's like, who do you complain to? Oh, you don't, because whatever the AI calls is the call. And if you complain, like, I would hate, as a baseball guy, like they're talking about potentially having like the robots and shit in MLB, and they're testing stuff in minor leagues. Like, I don't love that, but if it actually makes the game better and the fans and the parents less crazy, I'd be down for it.
I could totally see it at the Little League level, at this level, you know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
could totally see it, because it's a money saver, right?
Mm-hmm.
The parents, the teams, the league agree to the rules, right? So like, you're going into it knowing you accept the results of this kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So,
especially a guy like me, I have to schedule umpires and then message umpires and try to find umpires, and most of them are kids, so they're busy and then they cancel last minute. If I just had to set up a camera or a robotics style device and just plop it there and it does all the work, that'd be awesome.
Yep. Connect it to your phone.
You know what?
Is it aligned? Is it level? Is it blah, blah, blah? We're good. Let's go.
I'm sending you a link right now, Matt.
Ooh.
This device that is made in the great state of Missouri. That
And it does
you can
this?
hook a GoPro up to, that I was sent from my boss. Apparently, they use it a lot of their games, and I was like, "That is really handy."
Well, there you
It's
go.
kind of expensive, but so yeah, it's called this Link Spider, and yeah, so I guess it's been around for a while, but I've never seen it. But
$57?
That ain't bad.
But you can, it goes to like mesh fences, chain link, and everything. So that way you're not getting those lines in your video. You can mount it right there.
Oh, and you put the GoPro in it.
Yeah, you put a GoPro in
Gotcha.
there, and then, see what I mean? So it works on every type. But yeah, I don't know. I saw that, and I think there was
Like you said, so you put the Link Spider with the GoPro, and then this GoPro device has software that calls balls and strikes. That'd be pretty sweet.
And you mentioned Game Changer. We just started doing that this year, and I love me some softball, and so I'm always sitting pretty close up to like home plate and everything, getting a good view so I can take pictures of the kiddos. But the coach of our team was like, "Hey, who's running Game Changer?" And I'm like sitting by like all the grandparents, and they're like, "Oh, bet we can do it."
Heyo.
But I was like, "Yeah, maybe I can figure it out." I'm sitting there just clicking. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And Matt, have you ever ran it before? Like done the play-by-play?
I haven't. It was the first time that I loaded it. Somebody else was there. I would have, if I had the ability to. I think I could run it pretty well. But I with my kid, I think we talked about this a little bit. Like, I'm really trying to be more in the moment. So like, I want to like watch it and not have to like keep the stats and shit, because I don't really care at this level, unlike some parents, But I think there's a lot to it though, like you said, because then it's balls, strikes, pop up, this person, and if you don't really know the kids, you're like, what the hell? Who's this?
I know. So I'm making sure like our lineup is staying in order and like the positions are out there. But honestly, you just click on the name and it's right there. Like you can do everything in a second, and you just hit pitch and it'll say, is it a swinging strike, a foul ball, a called strike? But I mean, once you hit it, you have to drag the ball to where they hit
Where
it.
it was.
Yeah, dude. It's just, so I'm over there just, it looks like I'm not painted or like not watching the game, but I'm like, no, I am. I'm like really watching this game right now. I'm trying to do this. And
I've never been more into it. What's the, do you pay for the whatever per month so you can see all this stuff? Because I'm just on the free mode.
no, I don't pay a damn thing. Yeah.
No shit.
And I just have, I'm in 3 different leagues for it. So I have 2 staff abilities, which is like the admin, so I can run it. And then one of them has a family, and they're like, hey, we're probably going to move you to an admin. They're like, we saw how you've been doing it with the other one. And I was like, damn, this is why I don't do things well. Because then I'm asked to do it again, and I don't want to.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but instead of like keeping a book, I think a lot of coaches are using just that app to keep the lineups, to do the stuff. So like a lot of times they'll be like, hey, 13's in for 23. And then they're like, okay. And I look and the other coach is like, okay, got it. And I'm like, oh shit. And we're over there keeping book with pencil, I think, which I got a weird thing. Like if I go to a pro game, I'm the guy that I love keeping the book. Like I don't know what it is. I just love the old school thing. And it kind of hurts me because I have 3 assistant coaches on our team, and one's the book guy. And secretly, I'm like, I miss doing the book.
there's a mom at one of ours that she swears by the book, and I'm like, girl, if you want to do that, you go right ahead. And she's like, if you don't mind doing the game changer. And honestly, with me, I would rather do the game. I'm more of like the tech one, so I'm like, I see the little squares of the book, and I'm like, no.
Flashbacks to taking a test in the 90s.
Yes. So, but Brandon, I'm sorry, we'll get off the topic of our
No. You're good. I'm interested, intrigued.
I got one last thing on that before we do, though. Little League is exploring and possibly incorporating AI into various aspects of the game, including officiating. But it's currently not using AI to replace human umpires in the way that MLB is testing robot umpires. But they are looking into the automated ball strike system, ABS.
And I guess lastly, before we lied here, I forgot that last week there was we kept getting notifications from the coaches group saying, hey, the lady was like, that runs it, she's like, remember, if it's a coach, a volunteer, whoever is on the field, they have to have a background check for the insurance company to like have their information available. They have to be listed. It's for insurance purposes. And everyone's like, oh, okay. Well, there was a dad that was helping because one of the coaches was on vacation, and he happened to be a person that apparently they threw the bat, or like the kid let go of the bat when he swung, and it hit him right in the eye. And he had a small orbital fracture, I believe is what they were saying. And they just said that the noise was absolutely horrendous when it happened. And it happened after our game. And I was like, oh my God.
Those kids that had to see that too.
Mm-hmm.
Is he all right?
Yeah. So they said that he's healed up pretty well. And, he had like a CAT scan, and he has some follow-ups and everything. But they said that, he's recovering well. But yeah, so he wasn't one of the ones that was supposed to be on there. So it's like, of course. So he's probably going to have to sue the school, I imagine, or something. But
yeah, because the insurance for a lot of these leagues isn't really much. I mean, usually these smaller organizations, at least around here, they go out and get insurance for like a couple $100, and it doesn't cover a lot. Yeah, it covers enough, but not a lot.
It's just sad situation, and I'm just like, man, I didn't even think that could be like an issue. So like eventually they're probably going to make it to where the umps have to, or not umps, but the coaches have to wear helmets the entire time too. It's just like,
here you do in New York and all this in the sections and stuff, they have to wear helmets on, not face mask helmets, but it's not enforced so much at the Little League, but modified middle school or whatever, 7th and 8th grade, all the way up, varsity coaches and stuff, they all have to wear a helmet. If you're on the field, you have to wear a helmet on the top of your head.
Did not know that.
Just like in major league, college, everything. Yep, from the 7th grade up, and here in our state, and I think a lot of states do. But yeah, they wear like the John Olerud style helmet.
Boy just said John Olerud. I haven't heard that name in fucking years.
When I think wearing a helmet on the field, that's the only name that pops in my brain.
And not to circle back or circle jerk, but I did have this still on the screen here, and the lanes are longer the higher the number is too, by the way. So just a you
okay.
think, if you have a smaller circle and then you have a circle around that other circle, the outer circle is going to be more because it has to go around more of a circumference, right?
So that dude taking one was taking the easy way out.
Yes, that is the small. So that is a quarter of a mile is what it says here. Track lane or track distances by lane is what it's showing here. Is lane 1 is a quarter of a mile. And then it moves up to where if you have 8 lanes, like you were saying, so mine only has 6, 8 will go 0.28. So
shit,
doing a little more.
I'm gonna be a lane 8 guy.
See, so whenever I'm doing lane 6,
that's doing the right thing.
My mile time, I've been doing over a mile. I might even be a minute less.
Ooh, you use an app to track it? I've been using Strava.
So I have this stupid little watch that I've been keeping on there, and I thought it was weird too because it would say, you've completed a mile. I'm like, no, I haven't, you dumb bitch. I'm not even close yet. Sure enough, I probably was. Dang.
Damn. The only reason I started doing Strava is because I really, really wanted to go to the Two Bears 5K with Segura and Burt Kreischer and all those celebrities and stuff. So Jelly Roll and all of them, they have a club on there, so you can and it syncs up your stats. So then you can be like a part of the club. You get these stupid rewards and different stuff like that. I was like, it's just another weird way. Like if I'm gonna walk and stuff like that, but it'd be fun if we did a body wrong club and started our own little club on the app. So and you try and it shows like all your workouts. It shows all the stuff, the stats, the notes, and all the fun stuff on there. It's kind of cool.
See, that's the thing is so I've been posting to keep myself accountable that I put like on a Facebook story, Snapchat, whatever. But I'll just every day, just like even like a motivational quote, I was like, I'll be that douchebag. I don't care. I'm gonna do that. I've actually had this probably like I'm not even joking, 6 or 7 people say, hey man, like you're motivating me to actually get out and do this. Like I started walking and I had people taking selfies and send it to me. They're like, hey man, where you at? I'm like, I was there. I've been getting up at 4:30 in the morning, knocking out like 2.5, 3 miles. And
Love it.
I don't understand who I am now. It's weird. I'm comfortably wearing my Brooks shoes right now. These running shoes.
Woo.
Love these sons of bitches. They are wide too. I don't know why people think that the tip of the shoe needs to go narrow. I don't know whose feet or whose toes are crumbled up.
Wait till
like
you get
that.
the shoes that have the toe inserts. That's the next level, I've heard.
Dude,
Have you seen those things?
Yeah, you sound like the guy I work with too. That he's been rocking toe spreaders. He's just, oh my god, dude. He is just nonstop. He was convincing me for the longest time. I'm not a chapstick person. I don't know why I don't like the oil on my lips. It just something about it. I will go with chapped lips all day over oily lips. I don't know what it is.
I'm not a chapstick guy either.
I don't like lotion on myself. I don't know, just didn't really like it. Lately, I've been taking care of my feet, just lotioning up my feet every night after I take it. I'm telling you, been taking care of these kneecaps, these elbows, been lotioning up, just getting all nice and just
wasn't toe
hydrated.
spreader 42069 your name on that foot job website?
No, it was Doritos lovers.
That's what it was.
No, I'm joking. But it was so he told me, he's like, hey, you're one step away from these toe spreaders. I'm like, no, I'm not. I refuse. I mean, I'll lotion up these toes and everything else. And I'm not gonna lie, whenever you get your fingers and you're going between the toes like that, kind of like whenever you get a Q-tip in your ear, you start getting a little O face. It feels good. Feels good. Try it out, boys. You'll like it.
Yeah, I'm
He's just like, no.
Not quite there yet.
Boot for you as well.
I have to trust you on that one.
We even have I bought her one of those like foot bath things, like foot spa that has like the bubbles and it heats up and everything. And she was like, hey, she's like, why'd you put it in there? She's like, I'll rub your feet. And I'm like, I don't like my feet rubbed. Turns out, kind of do. You learn some new things. So I got a little foot care time like this was like last month or whatever, but it was revolutionary. Boy, try it. You might like it.
Definitely not gonna. I'll take your word for it. I will definitely take your word for it. There's a lot of feminine things in this house of mine. Me doing that is not one of them. No offense, no judgment, but
I'm judging. I'm not still. You know what? I can't even be mad because again, I still judge about the toe spreader thing. I'll let somebody else like rub my feet, but putting toe spreaders on me, you might as well paint your toenails at that point too. Like
that's next if you're lotioning your feet. I can't wait to see what's your first color. You're gonna go traditional black for your toenails first? You're gonna go like school colors? You're gonna go team colors? You're gonna go Dallas Cowboy? Silver and blue and.
I'm gonna go green.
Green?
I like to make it and I like to smoke it.
Fair. So speaking of eating healthy, I've always been told that eating chicken wings isn't terrible for you, and I love chicken wings. There was this place near me the other day. My brother, he's kind of I think he's like an old soul or something like that. He likes to eat his dinner at like 4:30 maybe, something like that. Where I'm lucky to be home by 9 o'clock and get a dinner in there. So he sends me a message, a picture the other day of a, like, what are those, like, silver aluminum things full of chicken wings. I'm like, wow, those look good. He goes, 50 chicken wings, $35.
Oh.
And I went, holy shit, that seems like a steal. You get one flavor, which, hey, whatever. So I'm like, man, I want some goddamn chicken wings. We're at a game. I'm like, doesn't the game get over quick? We're about 45 minutes away. They close till 8. So I called them up and I was like, hey, still got that deal going on? They're like, yep, what flavor? And I think because the kids wanted some, so I was like, we'll go medium. You know, they only had mild, medium, hot, like super, super, super hot, and barbecue. So I was like, medium seems fair. Sauce, fantastic. Wings, fantastic. Crispy, just cooked well. It was so goddamn hot and fresh when I got there that I had all I could do to carry the friggin' tray out to my truck without burning my fingers. Like, holy shit. Got home, still hot. It was a 10-minute drive after there, and I called them up there. They're like, yeah, give me 45 minutes. I'm like, this is destiny because I'm 45 minutes away. I thought that was a hell of a deal. 70 cents a wing.
Oh, yeah.
Cash only, so I don't think there was any taxes and shit on it. And I got there a little early, so I had time to sneak in a couple beverages. You know what I mean?
That's a fantastic deal. You can't beat that.
That's what I was wondering, like your wing prices where you guys are, because I've been told my my aunt and uncle own a restaurant bar, and they said the chicken wing prices are coming down very good. So if anybody is still overcharging you wings, then they're just kind of being dicks. You know what I mean? Just overcharging you.
I have seen a lot more wing night specials lately, like 75-cent wing night or $1 wing night or whatever. 50-cent wing night or something, not dollar wing night. Which is promising because you guys remember the last couple of years, it was like you get a dozen wings. It was like $17 in some places. Like,
yeah, it's still about, I'd say $15 to $17 for 10 to 12 wings here at most normal restaurants on their menu. And I'm not going to pay that much for them. So I'm like, man, I'm not going to eat the chicken wings.
To answer your question regarding chicken wings being good for you, no, they're fried, fam. They're bad.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're delicious.
No. And I also heard like the skin of the chicken, like, doesn't really break down properly. Like, it can stay in your stomach for an absurd amount of time. I don't know if that's true. I remember hearing that. It's probably not. You know how the bar talk is when these old people tell you some shit, and like that's the one that sticks in my brain. Like, oh, I heard if you eat the skin of the chicken doesn't break down. To me, it was like, oh my god, oh that's nasty. Kind of like don't swallow bubble gum. I don't know if that's even a real thing.
Remember that 7 years, right? Isn't that what it took? They said. I was
Is
like,
it?
That can't be right. So we don't have a lot of wing options, and of course, I know in Buffalo Wild Wings, it's not the greatest wings of all time, but they do have that all-you-can-eat thing right now for all-you-can-eat traditional wings for $24.99. So it depends on if you can get your money's worth on that.
That's a lot of wings because we had 50. My brother said he ate 15. So naturally, what do you have to do? You got to eat at least 16, right? So just to be a dick, I ate 18 chicken wings. I was so gross, like, bleh. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're paying $24 and you only eat 18, I don't think you're getting your money's worth. Does it come with some drinks?
It comes with fries, so you are getting traditional wings plus fries.
Oh, so you're only eating less then. That's kind of smart. It's kind of smart.
And
so, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the boneless ones are $19.99.
Oh, the chicken tenders.
So, two things, if I may.
Yeah.
Chicken skin. I just ran this through ChatGPT. Chicken skin does break down in your stomach like other proteins. It's mostly a myth.
Thank God.
Unless you're swallowing a deep fried chicken skin whole without chewing, you should be good. Second, I am so surprised at something I needed to share with you boys. I'm not sure if you guys have one of these close to you or not.
Before you do, can I throw out the last myth of what we did? Apparently, bubblegum is a myth as well. The myth that bubblegum takes 7 years to digest is false. Bubblegum is not digested by the human body and passes through the digestive system relatively quickly. So, kids, if you're listening, you can swallow that bubblegum and you're going to shit it out just fine.
And if you're listening, you can also swallow something, but it sounds a lot like gum.
I was gonna make a joke of yes, just
She
like your
ain't
mother
listening.
should have. Yes.
All right, sorry. What was that? You don't know if we have one of these around here?
Buffalo Wild Wings
We got one in about an hour from me in lovely Watertown, New York. You guys can spell that one, all right?
So a couple. That one's normally just spelled normally, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were, like those
No.
Massachusetts towns. Those are wild,
Now say it like Mike Tyson.
right? No, you I'm just blitzed enough too, and I'm not gonna. But one day on DoorDash, they had a special for a buy one get one free burger, and so it was like $11 for 2 burgers. Okay, it was the best burger that I've had fast food wise, and I
No
consider that
shit.
kind of a thing fast food in a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time. Like
I've
beautiful
never ate at one.
American style burger, lettuce, tomato, onion, mayo. Oh,
Do you know
just
why?
why?
Because you love Arby's, right?
Yeah.
Arby's owns B-dubs.
Do they really?
Absolutely.
I don't really
Yes.
like
So-
Arby's burgers as much though.
I know, but the Arby's, I don't know. I love me some B-dubs. I work close to one, so they used to have this burger. It was an Italian burger, and uh, it was off the wall. I was super baked one time, and I was like, I want to try that, and I got it every single time I was there. And then they got
No
rid of it
shit.
off the menu, and occasionally they're like, hey, this guy still knows how to make it if you want to make it. I'm like, yes,
Ooh.
please, yes. And then the guy quit, and everyone's like, what burger are you talking about? And whenever I tried to explain it, they're like, what? I'm like, come on. So it was a beef patty with mozzarella cheese, with marinara sauce,
Oh, like a pizza burger.
pepperonis, mozzarella sticks.
Ooh.
I think there was something else in there. I can't remember, but it was just, and then like another bun, and the bun was toasted. Dude, I'm telling you, when I saw that, I go, that sounds crazy. Give me one. And then I ate it, and I go,
This is crazy. I love it.
this is the best burger I've ever had in my life. I gotta look
God
this up now. You guys go ahead.
damn.
I'm gonna go over here and masturbate.
See, my kids, they wherever we want to go. I've never ate at a Buffalo Wild Wings. I've never gone there, and I'm like super sad. And they're all like, "It's just hype, like Chick-fil-A," according to the kids. But they're addicted, and it's not a bad thing. Do you guys have a Tully's near you, or is
No.
that just this way?
No, just you guys.
So
But-
Tully's they're known for their chicken tenders, but they have like the big homemade, like they are fantastic, and you can get a full chicken dinner that is so big with fries that typically we get 2 and split between 4 of us. Like they're huge, and they know they have it worked out where if we split and not get their own chicken tender dinners, that I always splurge, and their desserts are made for shareable desserts. So they'll get like big ass cookies, 2 of them with ice cream, whipped cream, and they like the one that has Reese's Pieces and fudge and peanut butter all over it. And you get that snack that's feeds 2. It'll feed all 3 of the kids. They get one usually, and it's like $7.99. So they're like, and they are fantastic. And their honey mustard is like their own blend that's a little bit different, to the point where it got so popular they actually make Tully's honey mustard potato chips. And they also brew their own beer. So they have their own like Tully's beer and stuff like that. It's an hour. One's an hour away, one's 2.5. So like when we go out that way, that's where they want to go. And I'm like, I can't. And it's kind of like, I would imagine a Buffalo Wild Wings, or, I mean, there's just TVs everywhere, sports memorabilia everywhere. They tie in kind of like Applebee's does too, where they tie into the local sports and stuff. And
So I got to ask you, Ewan, how long have you been going to Buffalo Wild Wings? Like how many years?
Ooh, so the thing is, I used to work directly next to it as well back in my wireless cell phone sales days. And they would bring in these sectionals, right, for their Super Bowl party. And they would always come in 2 days early, and they're like, hey, we have nowhere to store this. Can we put it in your guys' back room? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And they're like, we're going to take care of you guys on Super Bowl Sunday if you're working. I was like, oh, okay, sure. They brought us 100 wings, 50 traditional, 50 boneless. The boneless was completely naked, and they gave us like all 12 different sauces and these different, hooked us up fries, onion rings, everything all the time. So they were like, hey, anytime you guys want a fountain drink, just come on in and get a free drink. We don't care. I was like, oh, this place was so dope. So I would say consistently since like 2010. So yeah, I love it.
I remember I've been going to Buffalo Wild Wings since about 2003 or 4. And I would say Buffalo Wild Wings from 2003 until 2015, 2016 was untouchable. Like, for ambiance, the food is delicious. Obviously, those wings. I mean, when they had, I mean, I don't even remember what it was. Was it 60-cent boneless wings? I think it was. It wasn't even
Shit, back
75.
then it could have been
I would
friggin'
say 50.
25
Yeah.
cents or 10 cents or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But whatever it was, I mean, then they raised it eventually. But I mean, it was just those. Oh, it was just so good. It was so good. Some people
Do you
don't
guys
like them; they're too crunchy, whatever. But the best.
trivia question? Do you guys know when and where the first Buffalo Wild Wings was actually opened? This
I'm gonna say something
blew
weird.
my
Kansas.
mind.
I'm gonna say
Not the
Kansas.
location as much, but the year.
1977.
Ooh, pretty damn
Right.
close.
Oh damn. Okay, so how about this? 1975. You piece of shit.
Oh, well, that's when the dollar bet goes wrong. 1982.
Oh.
Ah,
Guess where?
piece of shit.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Kentucky.
Tennessee.
Ooh. Which one's north and which one's south? Kentucky or Tennessee?
Kentucky's north, Tennessee's south.
Oh, you messed up again. Ohio.
Son of a bitch.
Columbus, Ohio,
Of course it is.
1982. And it was actually a guy named, two guys, Jim Dispro and Scott Lowry, who moved from Ohio from Buffalo, New York, home of the
Johnny
Buffalo Wings.
Buffalo and Billy Wild.
So they brought it there.
That's so stupid.
Ultimate dad joke.
All right, let's do one more trivia question. What was opened first by date? Was it Buffalo Wild Wings, Hooters, Applebee's, or Chili's? Mm-hmm.
Applebee's.
Oh, that's what I was gonna go with too, because you mentioned Grand Island, Nebraska, and I'm pretty sure that's one of their like big hubs for Applebee's.
The correct answer is Chili's.
Oh, I was gonna say Hooters, but two.
Chili's opened in 1975.
Their ass.
Applebee's opened in 1980. Then Buffalo Wild Wings 82, and Hooters was 1983 in apparently Clearwater, Florida.
And Hooters is the first to probably close, right? So Chili's is going to be getting close there. They're getting their saving grace from that mozzarella stick cheese pull from TikTok. I think is saving them a little bit.
Yeah,
Dude,
because nobody's
I'm
getting
like,
those baby back ribs.
You know who said that's growing the fastest is Texas Roadhouse.
I hate it.
I love Texas Roadhouse.
I hate it because, like, the only reason is we have one somewhat near us. So a lot of times people, like, they'll go on these trips, say to Myrtle Beach or something like that. And they go to this place instead of going to this, like, little diner or somewhere else that they've never been to, that everybody's like, hey, you guys want to make reservations at Texas Roadhouse? No, but it's so good. And I'm like, we can get one where we're at. Why don't we try this place? Never been there. No shit. It's only around here. And we're going to go to Texas Roadhouse and wait 45 minutes to get in and then wait for... And it's no knock to Texas Roadhouse. I've been there. I like the food. The rolls are pretty goddamn good. Found the recipe online to make everything myself. Still not as good as when they make it there. It's good, but I'm from a small town. I don't like waiting to have to sit down. And Tully's the other day, we went there. So goddamn packed. I mean, packed. 6 o'clock, dinner time in a city. I'm like, told the kids, I'm a little bit kind of like being a little bit of a cranky dad. I'm a little bit hangry. You know what I mean? And I'm like, just to let everybody know, you guys are hangry too. I just whooped your ass in mini golf. You're a little bit pissed. We're going to have to wait like 30, 40 minutes before we get our food. They at least will bring you popcorn. I'm like, we're not in our hometown. Just be prepared. And they're like, okay. So we get there. There's a couple of people waiting. Packed. They're like, how many? I go 5. They're like, all right, just give us a minute. And I'm like, 1 minute? They're like, yeah. Next thing you know, all right, here we go. They brought us right in. I'm like, what? I'm like, holy shit, thank you. Like, so we're sitting there. You guys know what you want? Yep. I'm not shitting you. From the time we walked into that restaurant, by the time we got our chicken tenders, it was less than 10 minutes. And I mean, that place was packed. So I got on the old Googles. This was the best, you know what I mean? Like, shout out. Waitress wasn't great. She didn't get a shout out. But I did give our girl Brittany a shout out on the Googles. in the Aloft Hotel. She was awesome. She was telling me all about her ADHD and all sorts of stuff. But she was down to earth. I know what I liked about that hotel. They had a whole like wall that was like a display locked case of board games. So you could go up, have the person in the thing who was the receptionist, the I think the cashier for the food thing, part bartender. Like this person did everything in that little lobby. And they're like, yeah, if you want to come get a board game here. I'm like, that's pretty cool. You don't see that at a hotel ever, you know?
Yep, one of the ones I work at, it's an extended stay hotel, so they have options of like coloring books and everything, games. They have like walks, George Foreman grills, deep fat like just air fryers, waffle maker, whatever you want. They have all that stuff in there. Um, I was doing some um, errands and everything on Sunday, and I was thinking, I was like, man, I'm starving, but the only thing that sounds good is this local Mexican restaurant, that burrito, this massive ass burrito just covered in queso. And I was like,
Ooh.
I don't want to get it to go. And I was like, I surely don't want to go eat by myself. Right. I was like, that's kind of lame. I did, and I'm going to do it so much more often. It was the best experience of my life. I didn't have to deal with kids like screaming or worried about them knocking their drink over. Just the overall anxiety of just eating in a restaurant in general. I knew what I wanted. I walked in, I sat down, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, what do you want?" You know, before the chips and salsa was even on the table, I'm like, "Hey, I want this burrito. You know, here we go." And he's just like, "Oh, cool, absolutely." I get the chips and salsa. I eat like 3 chips, and then here comes this burrito out. And I'm like, "That's what I'm talking about."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, don't have to worry about. I don't know if this is gonna be good. Nope. Dad knows what he wants. I'm gonna get there. I had a whole booth to myself. I ate 90% of this 3-pound burrito, and I ate half of this chips and salsa too. I just enjoyed myself. It was like my cheat day meal, and I sat there. My drink never went half empty. You know what I mean, or half
Yep.
full, however you look at it. And it was just I loved it. I tipped that guy like $10 too. I overpaid for that meal, but if that's how women feel after getting like a spa day, give me just a restaurant day. Let me eat by myself for 45 minutes.
Then he went home, lotioned up his feet, took a little nap. Life was good, right?
I pampered myself like the good girl I am.
You deserve it. But I just looked at the clock for the first time, boys, and
I think you were getting ready to say.
Sorry, Brandon.
Real quick. Sorry.
I was just going to echo that. The only thing I wanted to say was, holy smokes, I've started eating alone because I do videos at restaurants for local, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I've started doing it, and not only like we're lied to. Like society's like, the losers eat alone. Nope, they don't. People who exude confidence eat alone.
Yes.
And if you ever see somebody eat, I'm sitting there eating fried chicken. I'm hearing people say, "Oh, so he works at the radio station." This other guy's got the easiest job in the world. He eats the food for free. People just give it to him. Can't you tell he's 500 pounds?
They say a lot of jealousy in their voice. A lot of peanut butter and jelly.
But like, so it's so cool to like be in that moment and not be in the, to your point, like for me, when I take my children out, I'm in an anxiety mode because I feel like I'm being judged, not just because of I'm known as somebody in town for being the radio guy, but because I'm my father's child, and I am like got this anxiety that everybody's going to treat my children the way my father treated children, which was, you know, why is that child talking? Keep him quiet, you know.
Exactly.
And so it's like, honey, we just got to be a little quiet. We can sit here and have fun, you know. No, you can't get up and touch that lady's shirt and say, I like your color on your shirt, because you don't know if she doesn't like to be touched, you know, like,
right,
or whatever. And that anxiety's gone.
Yeah, it is a thing being a dad with the family out there. It's
you ever eat an entire slice of cheesecake by yourself? I have.
Oh, dude, that cake that I got for the Mrs. for graduation party that I got for much cheaper. Oh my God, lemon Italian cream cake. Ooh. I was sitting there alone at 1:30 in the morning a couple weeks ago, just sitting there eating this cake just nonstop. Big fan of eating cake too.
Ooh, yeah. Got that sweet tooth.
Mm-hmm. I got a lot of cavities.
They suck, but either way, I think that's good. That was fun, boys. It was good to catch up.
As
Maybe-
always.
It was. It was very nice.
I think we'll have to do it again next week. Yeah, let's do it again next week. All right.
I'll be here.
Well, we say that, but we'll double check our schedules and see if we'll all make it. Because at this point, I don't even know what day it is. So, but either way, can't thank you boys enough, and we'll do it again next week. Be good to your wieners and lotion your feet, Euban style.
Hell yeah. Send me pics.
Send him pics. Euban at eubanwackenoff.com. Okay, bye-bye.
Knock. Who's there? It's the podcast you adore. Stay out of my fridge. We're back, ready to explore. Gotta tell a tale, gonna make you laugh, gonna make you smile. So buckle up tight. It's gonna be a wild ride. We're diving deep into your fridge where secrets